It's a house full today. So you have the privilege of having all the students present and it's full attendance. Yes. So I just take this. So we are live again this Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the topic sequence of living a full life. So friends, I'm Vicky Tushar, Leadership Development Catalyst. And yes, we are doing a session today which is called Khel May under the banner of Secrets of Living a Full Life. So everybody knows what the full life? What does that stand for, Karina?
Sorry?
You know what is the full form of Secrets of Living a Full Life? FULL. Nobody knows. Akshara knows? Okay. F stands for fearless. U stands for unstoppable. L stands for limitless. And L stands for loving. So we advocate the principle of living a full life because we just have one life, right? So under this topic, we have a guest with us today. And she is Mittal Salya. And I'm extremely privileged and honored to have her here today as the guest. So, are you all excited about the session?
Yes, very much.
Yes. क्योंकि ये है खेल खेल में तो खेल खेल में आपने बहुत कुछ कर दिया so आज ये खेल खेल में क्या होने वाला है हम देखेंगे so all the audience please watch this is something very special we also have Usha with us and all the students of management please full of confidence. We believe that you have everything that you require to have a successful life. And the most important thing is confidence. So if you do not feel confident in certain situations, you know how to connect. And that is us. And management please full of confidence. We have Karina, who's done her level 1 of personality development, going to level 2. Currently, she's doing level 2. We have Krishna Talreja, who's doing level 1 in public speaking, level 2, who's come all the way from Parvani. He's staying here and doing the course. So thank you, Krishna, and thank you to your uncle who found me on internet and then decided to send him here for my mentorship. Then we have Akshara, who's a really promising politician. Like, I'm really shocked to know that she's somebody who wants to enter into politics. आज तक एक भी बच्चे ने मुझे ये नहीं कहा कि मेरा ड्रीम है politician बनना. And I'm sure if Gopal Shetty is watching this, he'll be very happy. Because I happened to attend a function hosted in which he was speaking. And he said, आजकल कोई भी बच्चे को पूछो आपका ड्रीम क्या है, कोई नहीं बोलेगा कि उनको politician बनना है. But Akshara is such a courageous person that she's ready to take the challenge of entering into politics to bring positive changes in India and the systems which will help her see India the way she wants it to be. Progressive and one amongst the top countries all over the world, right? Wonderful. We have Kriti with us, who is again an enterprising young woman into a very different field. She is a jewelry grader. Yeah. And yes, yes. She's done the course on grading and sorting, and she will soon be joining that. We have Shubh, who's a very talented young guy. वो छोटा पैकेट है बड़ा धमाका है and he's just very new with us, hardly 3 or 4 days. He's completed his 10th standard of meeting his results. And he's saying, the first time he came to me, he said, man, I want to learn more and more. And I said, wow, this is amazing because who wants to study now? बोले स्कूल का बुक्स पढ़ लिया काफी है किसी को पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है पर इसको और जानना है so that was so beautiful about it. Then we have Usha, who's right now a homemaker and aspiring to be a life coach. So she's training to be a life coach with me. Then we have Punit Shah, who's a gym owner. Unfortunately, he's in a wedding, but his desire to learn and grow is making him attend it in the wedding. That's the commitment of Management Pay School of Confidence students. And we also have Bruce, who's a young gentleman. His thoughts are as tall as him, one of the tallest young guys, and very enterprising, very matured beyond his age. Well, we also have an awesome lady with us. Her name is Neha Daman, and she is such a beautiful person, the most resilient person I have ever seen. She has had a lot of challenges in her life, and every time a challenge comes, she stands back and bounces back. And she's an amazing human being. She gives me a lot of courage, especially when I am, dealing with certain health challenges, because she is one amazing woman who inspires all of us. So it's a great feeling for me to have all these beautiful energies around me, and that's the secret of my energy. Now, am I audible to all of you? Are you able to hear her?
No, it was lacking a little.
Okay, now?
Yeah, better.
So you have to speak a little more loud. So let me do a formal introduction of the guests today, and I invite Karina to go forward and speak a few words about Nitin Sanya.
Yeah, sure. I'll begin. Today, we're joined by an inspiring personality who's redefining learning through the power of play. Miss Mittal Salia. She's an author of 3 books, a game therapist, an unschooling mother, and a passionate traveler. With over 2 decades in education, Mittal has pioneered the use of games to promote life skills, brain development, and holistic learning. From being on the jury of Toy Cathlon to teaching at the top institutes like NID Gandhinagar, her work bridges psychology, education, and life design. As the founder of Khel Mein, she advocates for bringing play back into every household. Let's welcome her for a conversation filled with insight, bold ideas, and fresh perspectives.
Wow, super. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm I'm sorry, was there some noise in the background? Then I'm sorry for it.
No, there wasn't.
Actually, I was worried about that.
No, there wasn't. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction, and hi everyone. It's good to see you all here. Yeah. So I'm really intrigued by the merit things that you have done. इतना सब कैसे कर लेते हो? अभी ये मत बोलना खेल खेल के. But yeah, it's the passion and the uniqueness of the field that has given me opportunities and multiple places. For example, when I was on the jury panel of Toycathon, there was just 4 judges across India. What is Toycathon? So it's India's largest toy making competition where people from students, IIT, design colleges, as well as toy manufacturers, everyone participates. Oh. And it's something that was initiated by the government for long time. Okay. So there is entry huge number, and across India they just have 4 judges. Wow. So the uniqueness of my field of into the psychology and neurology of toy and game design, that is what brought me there. Probably that uniqueness has given me opportunities to have all these things. So what is the psychology and neurology of toy making? I never thought about toys much. I think in 12th standard we had a lesson in English, which was about toys, and then there are no standards in India with respect to toy making. That is the quality and the fabric of the toys have to have a standardized quality, which exists in US and all that, like Lego toys and all that. They have a particular quality standard. So but in India, we don't have. We have something called BIS, which is a certification, especially for toys that are built for 0 to 14 years. Okay. There have been a lot of standardization that have come in a lot of parameters. And from the time Modi ji has started promoting toys and games, a lot of new entrants have come in designing games. At the same time, now the companies are giving importance to a game design. Initially, wow, was like, you pick up, you like something, you pick it up, copy it, change karo, and put it up in the market. Correct.
But today there are a lot of new age, toy companies like Imagine, Smart. They have youngsters and they have toy designers who specifically look at all the parameters. So, because the toys are used by kids,
Yeah.
it's very important to have the psychology in place. It's very important to serve the function which it is serving.
Correct.
Otherwise, it could be a disaster, or it could just be a toy which probably will not give the value that it could give.
Yeah. So I always used to wonder why do we have guns as toys? Because it sort of, talks about killing.
Correct.
And if you will see many of the video games also, these video games are focused on hit, kill, hit, kill. These are the words that you hear.
Correct. So ideally, I know of toilet reviews who have removed guns from their collection. And as a psychologist, as a mental health professional, I'm also not in favor of having guns.
As toys.
Everything is put up as a role play.
Yeah.
So when I have a kitchen set, I role play my role. When I
In
grow
the
up in
kitchen.
the kitchen. But guns is not something that I would want to role play.
Yeah.
At the same time, these video games have a lot of violence.
Yes, not
Things where
violence.
you win only when you kill.
Exactly.
So
This is one concern that I had, and I was very, scared because I still remember Mohawk was in one room and he's laughing. And I'm sitting in the outside room and he's saying, "Pukar, pukar, pukar, मैं मर गया, मैं मर गया, मैं मर गया." Yeah, I got so scared, I just ran and went inside. I've seen this guys playing some PSP or something like that. I was like, literally my heart went and मर गया, what is this? So I have not liked, to see children play these kind of games. But something I feel, yeah, it is harmful, but something I feel is it is so addictive that, others are playing. So I'm not able to play and there's this lack that's coming. So Mark, what do you think? Like, what do you do with respect to parents who are pure like me? Like, what is your logical explanation of using that? I don't think they are able to hear that. Are you able to hear what we say?
Ma'am, but the conversation between you two is also not that audible.
Actually, the conversation is not audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just a
messaged you also.
Okay. Now can you hear me?
It was hearable, but it was not that audible to get what you guys were speaking.
Oh my God. Okay. It is connected. That's all.
Can you hear us clearly?
Yeah, now I can.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have to speak a little louder.
Yeah,
But is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. That's what she's saying, right?
yeah,
Yes.
that's what they're answering.
Okay, fine. Because now I've kept the sound here and microphones on this.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I think games till a particular age, I think 12, 13 is not a good age to play these games because these are very violent and game developers also try to make it more graphic, appealing. So yeah, that does. But after a certain age, I think it is fine. I don't think it
It's going to turn you into a killer.
yeah, exactly.
What is
Just
your
because
take?
you do something in a game, that doesn't mean you'll go and shoot someone or something like that.
But
yes.
there have been
See, now
incidences where people
anger-
are so inspired.
Yeah, correct. Anger and everything that does come, but then that you can, I think,
Discharge.
discuss. I think you can argue about any sport. You have a bat in hand, people use bat and break someone's head because they are angry. So same as that in games also people get angry a lot. But the thing is that it should not become into an addiction. That is the thing is which is very because it's so easily available anytime you can play anything like that and it is so dopamine giving.
Correct.
It should have a certain this ki, okay, I'll play this much and then it's enough.
Control
That's
किधर होता है?
control,
Very
yeah.
कितने लोगों को
That is
control
very
होता है?
difficult. So
कितने
that-
लोगों को कंट्रोल होता है? शुभ
Can you control yourself when you're playing some video games?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
So yes, I'll give my take on this.
Yeah.
We are talking about the violent video games.
Hmm.
In fact, any video game, they are all addictive. Anything that's, the audio video media is very addictive because psychologically these games are planned to keep you hooked to it.
Hmm.
There are rewards. There is a curiosity building what will come next.
Hmm.
So psychologically, whatever can hook you to that, engage you to that,
Hmm.
the designers out there are completely working on that. That is why always the video games are addictive, whether it is kids or adults.
So
And
there is a cliffhanger at every level.
yes. Plus, there will be certain rewards. They will have multiple elements at different places.
So,
You get an extra life, or every time you fill up, you get some coins, you get some
Bonus.
chota rewards. Then you get some variety of rewards. So that gives you that excitement of trying out new things.
yeah,
So
that's called
multiple
that they use
things.
the concept of token economy.
Yes.
Like, every time
Yes,
you
token
get
economy, hooks, rewards, the feel good factor. And as he said, the kick to dopamine.
correct.
Now, obviously, the games are planned to give that kick. And at every age, this happens. The very reason I don't recommend games to kids is because of the addiction factor.
Mhm.
Because even we at our age, even people who are like 30 to 50, 60-year-olds, if they start playing, they will get addicted. So many times you travel by train
I
and
see
you
so many
see
people
other
do
women
that
are.
bubble burst
Yes.
and that
So
book
it is
thing.
emotionally very relieving.
Yeah.
But my take on the violent games.
Mhm.
So there have been researches by neurologists,
Mhm.
and they have chemically, checked
Hmm.
the effect
Mhm.
of playing a violent video game.
Huh.
Now, when you're continuously shooting, hitting, and there is violence involved, even in a video game, it starts affecting the psychology. That is the reason these days we see majority of this new generation getting heated very fast. The
Correct.
tolerance levels going very down.
Low.
At the same time, there have been researches and they have literally shown that when you are playing a violent game, the area in the brain which is responsible for decision making, which is responsible for emotional intelligence, gets paralyzed.
Oh.
So this is chemically happening too. So how much ever adult we feel or whatever we feel, it does work in the background in the subconscious mind. So whenever people will have very difficult situations, they may tend to react aggressively. Obviously, they will not pick up a gun and hit, but the aggression and the heat starts building up. At the same time, the ability to think emotionally, right,
Reduce.
the ability to take the right decisions gets affected. So that is the
I'm
bad
wondering,
effect.
I'm wondering if this is one of the reasons why I do an assessment, the psychometric assessments, in which we have one parameter which is called the decision making score.
Correct.
So I see most of the people having very low score on decision making.
Correct. Because these days, see, when we were young, we did not have video games.
Correct.
But today, the kids are growing up with all of that. And of course, there are a lot of positive things to video games. It is a brain training tool for adults and for senior citizens. So I recommend the senior citizens to play more. But when it is anybody from kids to youth to middle age, you should always have a timer. And these days we have these, the digital health markers and all that.
Correct.
So you can put in the app timers, and then you should refrain yourself for playing beyond that time.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think we discussed more about the games and its impact on people. So, aren't there any rules and regulations for these kind of games? Because the entire world, you will see, most of the children are spending maximum time on their phones and hooked to one or the other game.
Correct.
So, don't you think it's right time for the government? And if there are any government officials who are watching it, we definitely would want to have some sort of rules and regulations on the amount of violence that is being projected.
Correct. So there are rules.
and regulations, but they are not being monitored. So as you see, the game that came, PUBG, or now the
Yes,
counter attack and all these,
yes.
they have these things said that, children below 12, children below 14, below 18 should not be playing it. But again, the moderation of these rules is not being done, and yet in the entire gaming industry, there hasn't been very strictness about a lot of these things. The researchers are also showing up at a very smaller level. So I think it is going to take another few years for people to really get alert about it.
Because see, of late, even I am watching that even at OTT platforms or in films,
Right.
and supposedly good films,
Yes.
there's a lot of violence that is being shown. Today
True.
only I just watched a movie and came, and I thought I'll go and refresh my brain, but then there was so much violence, and this putting the cloth or the plastic over the face and hitting
Correct.
has become like a norm.
Correct.
And children are just copycats.
Correct.
They will keep
Correct. A
copying
lot of
these things.
morally wrong things that we as Indian culture have felt are not morally correct have started coming up in the OTT. And you know what, I mean, even
Not
I
even
feel,
OTT, even in the films.
yeah,
So
true.
I am so shocked today. Like, I mean, and they were small children. I think they were below 4 years of age.
My God.
And the parents have thought that obviously they did not know this is there in the film.
Obviously.
But just imagine that 4 years child's brain.
True.
What is the impact? Okay, this is a norm. This is normal.
True.
ये तो देखा था, ऐसा होता है.
True. In fact, I'm surprised by the entire censor board and multiple things, because a lot of things that were not a part of Indian culture, though it has been reality to some, but when it is shown to a larger public, things which are not reality will be picked up by those who are still not there. And because people have been seeing something on a regular basis, over the years, when that thing is happening in front of them, they will not feel anything wrong about it.
That's
Because they are so accustomed to that
to seeing
entire
it.
thing.
So
Yes.
so again, when I do the assessments, I find that the empathy score is very low.
True.
Sensitivity score is very low.
True.
Relationship building is very low. So
Agreed.
now this is making sense, as in, because you have become a society who cannot feel.
True.
So, and if you cannot feel something, you cannot heal. I just put up a post the few days back talking about this aspect, and it's really, making me feel really bad that we are overlooking that feelings.
Agreed.
And
so it's such a strange thing that now, if anybody enters the website of World Economic Forum, now World Economic Forum is the body that, talks about the finance, the business, the future, everything. And when you look at their websites, the top 10 skills some years ago were probably some kind of talent, specialization, and multiple things. But today they have flexibility, adaptability, emotional intelligence as the top 10 skills across your skills as a job person, a job seeker, or as an entrepreneur. And at the same time, the strange thing is that when we are talking of the importance of these things, the things I think that existed in Indian culture, the joint family, the tolerance, a lot of things are also changing because of these new things that are being shown on OTT. So something that probably I could take with many years back. Now the way things are projected, or now the way technology, the way stories, the way apps, the way everything is coming up, we are actually losing on to all the skills which are going to be very much important in the future generation. So it's a very contrasting thing happening out there.
Yeah. So I was just talking to somebody and I was saying, like, let's do those games like Lagori and, Atya Patya, Sulparambe, if you all know what it means. And definitely I'm going to do it for all of you.
Wow.
ये स्कूल ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस में तो होने ही वाला है खेल खेल में back to childhood. So
Absolutely.
we had a training session, an outbound training session for a company, and there we made people go back to 4 months and 5 months.
Wow.
And the way they have enjoyed it was amazing.
Yes.
Feeling like a baby. What is it to feel like a baby? How do you cry like a baby? How do you laugh like a baby? How do you crawl like a baby? And it was
Exactly.
amazing.
And this is what is play.
Yes.
I mean, when I talk of khel mein, this exactly is what happens, that you're doing a role play.
Yeah.
But when you actually play, when you're there for fun, you forget that you're being judged.
Exactly.
You forget that there is somebody out there who's checking onto your actions. So, when even in school, college setup, there are people who will be like very shy, very low confident, or introvert. The same people, when playing games, will have forgotten everything.
Yeah.
Because they have forgotten that right now they are somebody in the limelight, they're somebody who are being judged. So the whole idea is that, when you're in that fun element and the play element, you are yourself and you
Correct.
grow.
Correct. So being authentic, being
Yeah.
your own self is what we're trying to promote. Now, I'd ask Kriti to share what she wants to ask. So yes, Kriti.
Unmute.
Unmute yourself. वो म्यूट का बटन है ना, रिकॉर्ड का जैसा बटन है ना, उसको अनम्यूट करो, एक बार क्लिक करो.
Even we can unmute. Yeah.
She's unmuted.
Hello,
Hi.
Yes.
are you able to hear?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Well, previously, as you have been working as a content development and teacher trainer, so how did you get the idea of starting Khel mein?
Okay, so I was into content development for K-12 schools. And I had a good number of schools under me. I did teacher training for a good number of years. And I used to I used to mainly visit schools which had all kindergartner to 12th standard.
Yeah.
And that was the eye opener for me, because I had about 350 schools under me, 17, 18 managers. And that is why it was not practically possible for me to be in touch with every school. But the managers would keep in touch with these school principals. And these managers would send email to me every day. Now, when they sent email, there were so many grammatical errors. And I, being a perfectionist, I was like, this grammar is going to the school principal. Kaisa lagega? So the whole thought process started for me that when you're exposed to a language for 15 years, forget kindergarten, first standard to at least the graduation, and a lot of these managers did their schooling in English medium. I was like, 15 years you are exposed to a language, how can you make grammatical errors? Whereas when you talk your mother tongue, by 3 years, you have forgotten. I mean, you speak flawless, you speak exactly the right way.
Correct.
By 5 years, though, a kid knows the mother tongue fully. And 15 years, you are exposed to a language and you don't pick it up. And surprising thing, when we are learning mother tongue, our parents never correct us. मैं कल जाऊंगा की जगह if I said मैं कल जा रहा हूँ, or या मैं कल, like the present and the past.
Yeah.
As in yesterday के लिए मैं कल जाऊंगा बोलूं, तो parent will not say कि जाऊंगा is future tense, yesterday is past tense, तो कल गया था. Nobody talks of the grammar, they just correct, हाँ गया था. So I realized that grammar teaching is not at all important. Secondly, we have so many Christian students whose mother tongue at home only they are speaking English, but they need not score full marks in the school exam, right?
Yes.
Although they are so fluent at English, they don't score great marks in English every time. So this was the biggest gap, that what is being taught is very different than what is being applied in the real life. And that is where I realized that कुछ सिखाने के लिए fun is very important.
Okay.
When you are playing with something, you learn things much faster. That's how my journey started with games. That how do I teach through games?
Wow.
And I started with an English course. The very first thing that I started was teaching English through games. And we had all the kids, like the 3rd standard and the 10th standard, in the same class. It was not based on 3rd standard mein jao to itna English, 9th mein jao to itna. No, everyone is exposed to the language to the fullest. with games. So that was the whole idea.
So I think you've come in at the right time. We're going to start our communication excellence training in a few days,
Wow.
most probably tomorrow only.
Okay.
So for few of the students here, it's
Nice.
just brushing up of the English language, to help you communicate better.
Right.
So I think I can take some help from you
Sure.
with respect to games
Games.
to
Yeah.
ensure that they learn the language in a
Yes.
proper way.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Yes, Kriti, what is your second question?
Yeah. What were the impacts of unschooling your son?
Unschooling.
Yeah.
I've heard about homeschooling, but this unschooling concept was introduced by one Mr. L, his name is. He is a psychologist
Okay.
and he introduced this term of unschooling.
Wow. Okay.
I don't remember his name, but we had to learn B.Ed, we had to do that.
Okay.
And
Nice.
even in when I did my master's, I learned about it. I'm not able to recollect his name.
Okay.
So I have known people who have done homeschooling and who wish to do, but I've never heard anybody do unschooling. So in today's time, when there is so much competition, a mother who decides not to send her child to school, I mean, which kind of mother would do that? It would be a crime. तुम्हारा बच्चा स्कूल में नहीं जाता है?
Yes.
ऐसा किसी ने पूछा नहीं आपको?
बहुत लोगों ने. They called us a psychic family.
Oh my God. पहले तो forget about
Initially,
people.
yes.
How did your husband respond to this
My
topic? Why did you feel it?
my husband 100% supported me because he had seen me connect with so many educationists. He had seen me work in the domain. So he completely trusted on me and he was there by me. But everyone except him. My parents, my in-laws, everyone, my friends, everyone was in the opposition side. So
Oh my God.
yes, so if I talk of impact and if I talk of unschooling and not homeschooling, my son was in 8th when I decided no school and he was not ready because 9th, 10th are the most important years
Exactly.
where people want them to do even classes. And I was like, your life will get spoiled, your life will get ruined because morning time you'll go to school, afternoon aake you will have to go to the classes. Imagine you have no time for yourself. Why do you want to go to school? And I was arguing with him and I said no school. The simple reason, of course, I've seen education system in and out and I've worked with BMC schools, I've worked with the top-notch schools of the country, I've worked with the rural-most schools of the country. So I've seen it in and out. And I felt 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th is nothing but a race of getting marks and admission. And I didn't want him to get there.
I agree. And I think one girl sitting there is very happy because her father decided not to send her to the normal school, but she's doing NIOS. So she's
Oh.
not doing unschooling, but she's doing NIOS. And now I think she will say, yes, ma'am, yes or not. She
Awesome.
agrees to it.
So good. So again, my son also gave the 10th, 12th through NIOS or to Maharashtra board, but we did not put him across the year with any tuitions, any studies. We were just roaming around, we were moving around, and the impact, my son was interested in wildlife, and surprisingly, from 7th standard to 10th grade, for 4 years, there is no zoology in our science curriculum.
Yeah,
We have botany, we have
Yeah.
human anatomy, we do not have zoology.
correct.
So that, and my son is interested in wildlife, so obviously the school is not giving anything related to it. So I just put him on the internship with the best people in the country. I have searched for author level people, I have searched for state award winners. I would contact them, I would tell them, my son, we are unschooling and would you teach him? And for 2 years, he lived with almost 300 to 600 animals. And at age 15, when his school friends were entering like the 10th standard, he could recognize 150 species of snakes. He could rescue them. He was taking care of so many other animals, so he knew the entire schedule, the care. So somebody who is a BSc zoology would not have that practical knowledge what my son got at age 14 and 15.
You didn't get scared when he was with those animals?
No, so thankfully I always trusted my intuitions and my gut. And especially because of the snakes, everybody in the family was scared. But we trusted the universe. And
I was paranoid.
Yeah, so we've just gone by our gut feeling by the universe. And at age 14, I've made him travel all across India by bus, train, and flight all alone. We wouldn't even go to drop him to the airport or the station. He has to figure out everything. And these are the life skills that I wanted him to get into. And by age 16, he started his multiple level certifications in scuba diving. He started snowboarding. He started solo travels. And I think by 18, 19, today he will not, he's 22 years now, but he will not complain that he has not enjoyed his life and he has not lived his life. I think he's got every exposure, and all the school fees, the classes fees we would spend on his travel, on the scuba diving, on multiple things. And today he's into agriculture, he's making his career into agriculture. And the most biggest impact, so as you are asking, Kriti, the biggest impact, and this was like a wow thing for me. It was just about 8 months that he was living with the animals. He was just 14 years that time. And he's at Bangalore, of course. And his biggest love was snakes, always. He wanted to research in snakes, he wanted to study in snakes. And he, at that time, had decided that he will make his career in snakes. So, in an ideal scenario, we would have made him do 10th standard, then BSc zoology, and then herpetology. In the ideal scenario, as per now. But at age 14, 8 months working with them, he gives me a call one day. Mom, snakes is my lifetime love, but not my career. Now imagine this happens with most of us after the age 25. When we have taken up a course, when we are about to finish, when we are doing master, or after doing the job, we realize that this is not the field I would have loved to go. But because I exposed him to the field at such a young age, that was the biggest eye opener. He was like, snakes is not my career. This happened only because I went the reverse way. I made him, like I told him, you explore everything. I have made him do every possible different type of internship. And I've told him, इसमें थोड़े महीने काम कर, if you don't like it, change it. So this is what I did, and he has come to what he loves doing.
Superb, superb. But I think when not maybe 1% mothers would take this risk.
Agreed. Because walking the unwalked, the untraveled path and risking your own child's future, not everyone would have that guts. Secondly, you don't know what is going to happen.
Exactly, it's uncertainty.
So me and my husband were prepared for that uncertainty. What worst could happen? And we came across this point that till 21 we were doing graduation, we had nothing. After 21 also we have explored 3-4 careers, and we have come to this successful career after trying out things. So till 21 he has the time to explore everything. उसके बाद ही अपन ने career pick up किया. He will also pick up at 21. So this is what thought process we went with. And when we started, my husband just made, he's a stockbroker. He just made one statement, and that one statement made me take the decision. There were some fights happening in the school management, and my husband is like, why are parents, so afraid? Why can't they risk? Agar risk hai to it's 1 year, but agar gain hai to it's a lifetime gain. And I'm like, yeah, why aren't we doing that? That's it. That was our decision making point.
Awesome. So I think you have come at the right time for all these youngsters who will one day be having a family. But believe me, all of you, Krishna, Karina, Shubh, Akshara, and Kriti, when you take a decision, no, you on subconscious mind, you already decided the kind of partner you will be having, the kind of marriage you will be having, the kind of people, children you will be having. You've already decided in your mind. And so maybe this is something that you can embed in your mind. It takes guts to actually unschool your child.
Yes.
For me, it was very difficult when my son, after graduation, said, I just want to explore. I'm not going to do anything for 1 year.
Wow.
And I said, I am an educator. How can I let you waste 1 year? And believe me, that detachment was very necessary for me. He didn't listen.
Nice.
And I was scared.
That's
and
good.
I was crying and I was howling. And I was saying, what can I tell? Like, I mean, you're not going to do anything. He said, no, I just want to explore. I just want to find myself. And now I think on the reverse, like
It
he
was
was
the
right.
best thing. Yeah.
He was right.
And it was not only learning for him, but it was learning for you as well.
Me, very much.
It's a transformation when you unschool your kids. It's a transformation for the parents also to a big level.
Yeah. So when I told Mohak, you can do MBA, no? Why are you not doing anything? He's saying, I've learned with you for so long. What MBA I want to do? I don't want to do any MBA. I want to practically do something
Do
which
it.
will fulfill me. So
Correct.
he's exploring. And definitely, I would love him to meet your son.
Sure.
So that
Yeah.
would be a great thing. Maybe he can come to Management B School of Confidence, and maybe the next life
Yes.
can be with him.
Yes, definitely. He can be online. Yes.
Yes. So nice. So nice. Thank you so much. So, Kriti, you can go ahead with your next question. Puneet, I know you're listening. So, we are taking the questions in a sequence. So, we will come to you at the right time. Yes, Kriti, go forward.
Last question. What type of brain challenging games can we play daily?
Okay, so there is a whole range of brain challenging games that can be played. Now, people who think that if I'm playing chess, I can be like really intelligent, then that's not the right thing. Chess is just one type of a strategic game, and many people don't like to be hooked on for 2 hours or such long games. So, I believe your games collection should be a mix of everything, a puzzle, a visual logic thing. There are multiple puzzles out there in the apps, or even on the YouTube, you could make some dice games. So, preferably have games which don't have the luck element. To a level, certain luck element is fine, but otherwise, I discourage too much of dice games unless there is a calculation to it. Pick up games which have strategy, which have different level of challenges, and we have listed games into like 14 different thinking skills. Even a speed game, even a party game, even a group game, every game has some learning. And if you, as a regular group who have been meeting on a regular basis, what I can do is I can send a list of some very good games to BG. She
Yeah.
can share the list with you. At the same time, you all should buy alternatively. So, for example, I bought Codename, she will buy Top That, somebody else will buy something. So, when we are meeting together, also, we have a wider range to play with each other, or we can just do an exchange like the books.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Kriti, for your questions. It was
Thank you.
really great.
Thank you.
And Mohak, please remember, we have to give the best question a prize. So Kriti is done with the questions. Now I will take questions one by one. One question each. Yes, Shubha, I'm coming to you. We will take one question each so that everybody gets a chance, and then we'll go the next round. Okay. So yes, Shubh, you can start with your questions.
Okay. So my question is that what was your experience at the TEDx short video?
So, my TEDx shot happened during the lockdown. So, frankly, I did not have an audience in front. It was like a shooting done in our own, we had hired a place where we did the shoot, and then they wanted certain things to come in. So, we gave certain audio files and they did the editing. So, to be frank, I did not have that experience of enjoying the stage.
And what was the topic on?
I talked about game therapy. So their theme in that lockdown was the road less traveled. So they
Okay.
picked up professions which are not so often heard of.
Wonderful. Yes, who wants to go for the next question? Yeah, Akshara.
So, my question is, when you started this journey of games, who was there to support you at that time, and what was the motivation you had in yourself to start this wonderful journey of games?
Okay, so when I started, see, I was on a very well-paid job till 2013. And when you start something, it's like completely giving up on the finances.
Correct.
So initially, doing a job was my need. Then over the time, it was something I was enjoying too. When my husband started settling down financially, he said, "Now you do what you want." So at that time, I had picked up this thing of teaching English through games. That was the first thing I started doing. Uh, After I did that, of course, it for years it has not paid me back compared to the salary. It really takes time when you are on a very new thing. It
Correct.
takes time into the awareness, it takes investment, it takes talking to a lot of people. Although I started my first year with a very nominal fees of a full year class. Compared to the market, I was little low priced, but I had 93 students in the first year for a full year English class.
Wow.
And that itself has given me motivation all throughout. The results that are seen in the kids, the impact of games, and thereafter throughout it has been my husband who has stood by me because he has seen the children transform. So there have been times when I'm like, yeah, I was earning much better. If I do a job, I will still do better. So before the lockdown, there have been times when I have, wanted to give up, when I have like, no, I'll take a job because I was looking at the finance. But my husband always said one thing to me, that the transformation that's happening, the results that is happening in the children,
Yeah, that
the
drives.
satisfaction level you will not get anywhere, and what you're doing is extremely wonderful. Stick to this. There will be a day when it will cover up all your years of efforts. But after the lockdown, I don't think I have ever looked back. I have ever felt that I need to get into job because by then I had started writing my first book, and the play itself or the impact of play had become my passion completely.
Superb, superb. Thank you, Akshara. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. So
Yes, Karina.
I wanted to ask that you've worn many hats. You're an author, therapist, and educator. Which role feels the closest to you and your heart? Like, and why? Why have you chosen so much?
So, frankly, choosing so much has not been very different for me because I've always been a creator. If you look at all my roles,
Yeah.
I have always been a creator. When I was in the education, I used to make the teacher training modules. I used to, create all of that. The job previously, when I was in Kidsy, also with the kids section, I created a whole module for them. When I started the English class, I created. So innovation or not continuing. I mean, for me, I get too bored.
Yeah.
If
Doing
I am
one
doing the
thing.
same class for 2 years and 3 years, I'll be like, bus ho gaya, I can't do it anymore.
Mm.
I started hiring teachers because if I have to repeat something, I just get bored.
Yes, yes.
But something that has been closest to my heart is this brain fitness coaching that I have started since last 4 5 years, because I realize that games are much, much, much more than what we really can understand.
Actually.
And especially when I work with the senior citizens, when I work with the adults, I think that is, or when I work with women, women who are in the phase of menopause or multiple things. That impact when I see that games are working on the psychology, on the emotions, and transforming that person, an adult, that is closest to my heart.
I'm just reminded about one thing, like, whenever there are competition games, everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
So once when I was doing a training with one company, there were these groups, 4 groups. And for them to win finally, because everybody was as a tie, you had to let go
Right.
or share.
Right.
They said, no, nothing doing. Even if you're getting 0, we're not going to give them the points. So it was such a heated discussion. I said, you just have 10 minutes. Either you stake it all or nobody gets any points. And then they came to the consensus. So I felt that this particular situation can translate into real life,
Absolutely.
saying the importance of letting go. And okay, even if I have not got, let's mil baat ke,
Correct.
share kare.
Correct.
So
So
yeah.
I have an incident to what you are saying.
Hmm.
We are brainwashed from the childhood that competition is everything.
Yeah.
स्कूल का स्पोर्ट्स इवेंट पहले होता था ना, तो it used to always be who comes first, second, and third gets the medal.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the very young age, we are brainwashed to win over others. Now, if we look at the new generation schools, a lot of their sports events are collaborative events. They are not looking at racing, but they are rather looking at team games, group games. Even the annual day is no more a time where you know who's the best dancer.
Yeah.
It's the full class participates because we are in the world of collaboration and cooperation and not competition. I mean, many years back, yes, competition was important. And I will share one story with this. I had gone to Solapur to this Mahila Mandal kind of a group where there were 80 women and they had called me कि games खेलने आना है. Now across their inception, they had this tradition that there has to be a first prize, second prize in all the games that I play. And when I said that as a psychologist, I don't promote competition, I rather have cooperative games. So the committee members told me that our women will not agree. You will have to do a competitive game only. Now, what I did, I went in even before they started playing games. I went, stood there, and asked everyone on the face that I have two ways to play. I can make you all win. Somebody will win, somebody will lose. But otherwise, let's go with the way I do. Nobody wins, nobody gets a prize today. Are you okay with that? And thankfully, because majority see every time that first, second, third prize winner is fixed. It is this fixed set of ladies who keep winning. So majority of them never get the opportunity. Majority of them said yes, we are okay with no prize. And the committee members did tell me that they will really go upset. The people who win. But at the end of the 2.5 hour session, they gave me a standing ovation. That day, the committee member said it's been in the history that not one lady fought. Otherwise, there is always a fight that isko prize kyun diya, isko kyun nahi diya, or somebody or the other goes in unhappy or talks, comes and complains to us. That day, they said it has been a complete history that nobody fought today and everyone is going back happy.
Very nice.
So,
Very nice. So I do start my sessions, dividing them into teams and then giving them scores and all that. But towards the end, I forgot to give them scores, and they also forget which team is winning, which team is losing.
correct,
And
because they're
that's
all
the
involved.
beauty.
Yes.
Then I ask them, you don't want to know who's winning? Arey, maza aa gaya,
Sab
ma'am.
jeet gaye.
Sab jeet gaye.
That's the fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Karina, for your question. Can we take Puneet now? Puneet, you can ask your question. If not, I think Bruce can start.
Yes, ma'am, I can start. Good evening,
Yes.
ma'am. This is the
Good
first
evening.
time I'm opening my mic. Hello.
Yes.
So I have prepared some questions for you, ma'am. 1 second. So I wanted to ask you, how can game-based learning be effectively integrated into resource-limited traditional education systems?
So traditional system is not resource limited, frankly. There is so much resources that have started coming in. The only thing is there is a fear. People don't want to use games as the learning tool. I mean,
Yes.
rather as an assessment tool. People may integrate some part of games, but as an assessment, उनको exams ही दिखता है.
Correct.
But yes, there are a few complete unschooling concepts which do not look at this traditional stuff. So, what I say is play is experiential learning. And any form of experience, any form that is slightly gamified but allows you to be a part of it, allows you to immerse into the experience itself will give you so much learning. All of our schools say, I hear, I remember, but when I do, I learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but वो doing part फिर भी वो लोग नहीं करते हैं. Although they say there is very less of doing.
I hear, I forget. I see, I remember.
Correct.
But
And
when I do, I learn.
learn.
Yeah.
And though the schools talk of this, frankly, that I do is missing big time.
Yes.
So, what happens in the play is there is inclusion because nobody is big, nobody is small. There is nobody who's smarter and less smarter and more intelligent and less intelligent. Play accommodates every single person. Secondly, everything that is gamified creates a level of interest for you to do. Because for you, it's no more something that I just want to learn for the sake of the exam and vomit it out and forget the next year. So when I ask you that seventh standard ka, if I ask you certain formula, if I'll ask you some questions, you will not remember. Although you learned, you gave exam, you will not remember it because you learned it for that year only for that examination.
Exactly.
But when you play, and I ask you something after years also, no? When you are immersed into playing and doing it, you will remember the experience that happens.
Exactly.
So there are many ways that education system can be transformed. Your daily textbooks can be gamified in terms of, when the question answer round is happening, there could be rows that are getting involved. The teachers could have like a weekly, monthly competitions amongst people. The question and answers and the board games, the chapters can be converted into board games. So there is lot and lot that can happen, and there are a handful of educators who are doing that. But still,
I,
yes, yes. And
I
let,
started
let
only
me
for
tell you,
this.
for school education, our national education policy talks of the importance of play. They have released a whole document of toy pedagogy, right from kindergartner to 10th standard, how toys and games should be incorporated in the curriculum. And at the same time, they've made it a compulsion that there should be 10 bagless days when you're not carrying the textbook or anything. But still, the schools are trying to accommodate those 10 days into, some hiking or some outdoor camp or whatever, and play is yet very slowly coming into the education system. But definitely, it's the future.
I like to give one. So I go in the morning in at NGOs to teach. So there are around like 100 students. So I teach around students who are in second grade, who are like 7, 8 years old. So me, as being a young teacher, I try to, like, I didn't know, unconsciously I was making them play games every day, which has learning into them. So at the same time, they have a competition. Now there are multiple students who are in second grade also. I could realize that my students are much more smarter in
Yes.
incorporating that. And the
Yes.
founder himself, he says कि यहाँ पे टीचर आते हैं सिर्फ पढ़ा के चले जाते हैं.
चले जाते हैं.
What I can see is that you're being asset to the kids.
Yes.
Even though you're
Yes.
not being very pushing them for long hours or making them do a very book intense exercise or something like that, you're doing them a brain intense exercise.
Correct.
Correct.
And then whatever you teach, the kids will absorb it
More faster.
than the other kids.
100%.
I agree 100% to whatever you're saying. And this girl, Karina, when I look at her, I see my younger self.
Wow.
That, the zeal and enthusiasm to do more and, make them that she has that passion for education.
Nice.
And she is training to be a psychologist.
Wow.
So let's three of us start a school together with this pedagogy,
Yeah.
toy and game pedagogy.
Agree. I agree.
And with this, I will also add, there's this another, there's an NGO called We Can We Will.
Okay, yes,
So
yes. It's
last
in
2 years,
Kandivali.
yes, in Kandivali, Madar. So from last 2 years, they again had visionary, and they started that. They said that we start our game class. So my two teachers go there since 2 years, teaching the seventh, eighth, and ninth standard kids, and they only have a game class, no studies, no science, maths, nothing. It's a game class. But the transformation that has happened in these kids is the next level. So
100%.
yes,
I did go for We Will We Work for Foundation once.
nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, who's taking the next question, please? Puneet, I think. Puneet, are you there?
I think
Oh.
we need to ask the question on behalf of him.
Can I?
अच्छा, no, he's there, he's there.
मैं स्कूटी चला रहा हूँ मैं नहीं बात कर पाऊंगा
हाँ तो तू हॉल्ट करके फिर बात कर.
I'll,
Or somebody else can ask on his behalf.
yeah, I'll just send the thing on chat. I'm listening though.
अच्छा ठीक है. So Karina, I think you can ask the question.
Yeah.
पुनीत का जो question है वो ठीक है.
Okay, there are three of them. I'll ask any one of it.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So just a second. Yes. So when you unschool your son, what are the life skills and survival skills that you are teaching them? How do you teach them? I want to pick up boys from the streets who have really great talent and make them into huge fitness coaches, but there is a huge gap in their self-image, environment, and exposure. How do you think I should deal with this and their approach?
Wait, there are too many things.
Yeah.
So the last part you ask after you ask the first part. So
Okay.
just stick to the first question.
Yeah, so I remember
So
the
this is
first
one
part.
question.
Acha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember the first part, so let me address that first. Teaching life skills while unschooling, I've already said parts of it that from the age 14 itself, I made him travel. I made him go on all on his own. I made him work like the older days. We had this Guru Sishya Parampara where,
Gurukul.
they would go and actually work rather than a book study. So, because my son has worked directly into the industries or with the people, that itself was a learning, wholesome learning. More than the knowledge and the book, for him, it was a life skill pickup because he had to stay more with adults. When he joined, he was only with adults. He did not even have, he stayed in a place where there was hardly any electricity and there were 300 animals, multiple things. So, you are fighting in multiple ways. The food, for 3 times, they had only rice in the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we are not rice people. The South Indians are, but we used to eat rotis and everything.
Yeah.
But for 2 months, my son has never complained that mere ko roti khana. I have not eaten for many days. Of course, when he's coming, he will say, do anything but don't cook rice for next long time.
But so yeah.
But this is a life skill training because you are compromising and living in conditions which are not suitable to you.
So we have Krishna who's come and undergoing these kind of problems and issues.
Correct, because he's staying away from the home.
Yes. So now you can pride yourself, Krishna. He's just completed his 12th and he's staying here alone. First time he's left the family.
Nice.
And his parents sent him with the purpose for which you're telling.
Correct.
To learn the life
Correct,
skills.
exactly.
So now you're happy now, Krishna? When you're hearing a lot of people say that and feeling the pride that you're doing it actually.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And life skills is all about facing the world without the support of parents, mentors. There are people who are observing you or guiding you, but you are walking that path and facing the whole world. So that itself gives a wholesome life training. And yes, that was the major thing. Now coming to the part of grooming the street children. So again, as these they mainly work with street kids. We do need money, we do need resources. Everyone has the brain. If they have the talent, they will pick up. The only major thing that matters is exposure. They are exposed to a life where they haven't seen a different,
Yeah.
where they haven't seen the world, where they are polished. But if they start facing one by one, situation by situation, they will start picking up because they already have the jugad or multiple emotional intelligence parameters. But sophistication, polishing is what is required, and motivation and goal. And as per the Maslow's hierarchy, when your roti kapda makan is sorted,
Then the
only
rest.
then you will think of the rest. So that is why there you need these fundings to at least fulfill their basic survival needs. Once that is fulfilled, anything you teach them, if they have a goal, if they have a dream, they will start picking up like a sponge.
Right. Very true. So I think we'll come to Krishna with his question. Yes, Krishna.
Ma'am, as you told, this games helps in personality development and everything. Does they also help in many mental health issues, like different kind of disorders and everything, to heal them and everything?
Yes. So, one, mental wellness in general, when I talk of aggression, anger, conflict management, self management, all the skills, to definitely yes. But even when we talk of disorders, it's see, when you're playing, Okay, you are creating neural pathways in the brain. And when you play repeatedly, for example, when I used to play Brain Vita, the marbles wala game. Now, in those days, we didn't have YouTube, so we did not have a solution. We did not even have the Google access that we would have the solution. So we have actually tried on our own only, trial and error karke, coming to that last one marble. We must have played it 200 times. So when I've
I've
played
never been
something,
successful.
yeah, no, I
I
could
got
be very few
frustrated.
times, very few times, but 2, 3 marbles has been multiple times. But yes, it took so many efforts, and when we are repeatedly playing, it starts building up the neural pathways in the brain. So it starts training yourself in doing something much better.
Right.
So, sorry, Krishna, but I'm just missing out on what exact question did you ask?
So he was asking about the mental disorders.
Mental
like how can be
disorders.
changed.
Yes. So when you have, let's say people with the disabilities, like the learning disabilities, okay, if I talk of dyslexia, dyscalculia, whatever. Now, these are not mental retardation or these are not special children. What we saw in Tare Zameen Par. We've had multiple cases coming because we've been running kids classes since 2013.
Correct.
So many kids come to us who have these basic level of disabilities, and there have been changes. I distinctly remember 2, 3 cases, especially where one case was given the letter that this child should be taken to a psychiatrist, and there is no way he can be in the normal school. He cannot concentrate on anything more than 30 seconds.
True.
This child came to us for the entire year. There were times when the game which needs so much patience that even I at times will think abhi khelna hai ki nahi, like that magnet wala game, drop game, which needs so much focus and concentration. If this child would come early to our place, he would pick that up and he would do it till the end. He would sit 15 minutes at a go on a board game. A complaint that the teachers gave that this child cannot sit at one place.
Yes.
The games, it's your learning methods, it's not something of his interest which is making him stick. So there is a lot of healing that happens. I have certain people who are special educators, who are counselors across different places, who take opinions from me that we have this kind of a case and what kind of game will be useful to them. So games, and even if we look at Tare Zameen Par and we look at what Amir Khan did, there was so much of gamification in teaching him.
Correct.
Teaching him through the sand, teaching him through the letters and multiple things. So all these are very beautiful interventions but I won't say they are wholesome. I won't say that just a game can heal somebody completely. There
you
may be
need-
other factors.
So you need
Yes.
proper guidance of a person. Like, for example, Krishna is also training one guy who's with LD. You've been using those games with him, right? So I would want you to just take it up, take him as a project and see what you do, because without that, I'm not going to give you your certificate.
And you can ask me, based on what problems this child is facing and where you see his weaknesses, you can just WhatsApp me of different things, and I will probably suggest you a few games. So you try that with him.
So I'll give a
Okay,
number
ma'am.
to you and you take it
Okay.
forward. So this can be like how people have theses and research that is being done. This is a mini research and
Yeah.
something that you're developing. So you will be using your logic and analysis and trial and error to ensure that through the games there is some change that happens. You have 3 weeks. In fact, I will increase his frequency of visit. So you will be able to do that with him. So we just started it.
Yeah.
Later the slide guidance to him.
And with
And then
3
go
weeks,
forward.
you will find results in certain areas for sure.
Yes, definitely. So what a wonderful time that she has come. And that guy is blessed. That guy is blessed.
Okay.
He came to us in 10th standard because he had failed in 10 and nobody was taking him up. But he's extremely dark. And when he came to me and I saw the interest and the smile that he gave, that $1 million
Wow.
smile, bold smile. And I said, my heart went out to him. I
Correct.
said, okay, we are going to take him. And my son was training him. He managed to pass with exact the amount that he wanted. We
Nice.
are wondering how it happened.
Nice.
And we were at certain times, to such a point of desperation that, my God, what's going to happen?
Correct.
And now his father wants us to train him for the next year,
Wow.
and that we have done, and we're waiting the results. So now we are starting through games because we
Lovely.
tried a number of methodologies. We
Lovely.
even connected him to an astrologer.
Oh,
So a number of things we did. Do what it takes to reach where you want to be.
correct.
That's our mantra.
Correct. And such kids often get frustrated because they see others getting result, but they don't see themselves getting result.
Yeah.
So they are at a level of slight depression or frustration, the feeling to want to give up. All of
Correct.
these things are happening with them. So even when we look at their mental state, no, they are not in the optimum state of learning. And that is why games work, because games is something where you will get some result, and plus you are very happily engaged, so triggers that fun element in them.
Yeah.
So the learning gets even better through games.
Games, right. So, Krishna and Mithal,
Yeah.
I would want to say, like, I always believe, स्थान काल और पात्र, अगर जगह इंसान और समय का
सही
संजोग
है.
होता है, तब वो कार्य होता है.
Correct.
So I was wondering why this guy's come into my life, this Mohit. And Mohak, you, Krishna, I don't know how Krishna came into the picture, to handle Mohit to him. Like, I mean, I don't know why I thought about doing that. I just did it out of instinct. But I believe that we all have some of our karmic debt to
Yeah,
him,
absolutely.
and that's what we are completing. So, Krishna, you're doing a very, very noble job.
Yes.
It's not an
Absolutely.
assignment. It's a part of your karma that you are sharing with him.
And it's something that will give you much more satisfaction than anything else in life.
Yeah.
When you will see even the slightest result in him,
Yeah.
that is what will give you that feeling that, wow, I've done something.
Okay. So we'll take a few questions very quickly. Anybody, I think Neha has not got a chance to ask the question. Neha, would you like to? Neha, would you like to? Because we have overshot the time. However, okay. Maybe Usha ji, you want to ask a question? Usha ji, are you there?
Miss, I have
Ah.
already got the answer. When
Oh my
she,
God, this is awesome.
when she shared the Solapur story.
Story.
Ah,
Yeah.
great, great. Awesome. Yes. Any more questions? Bruce, I think you have a question, and then we will take one question of Puneet's and maybe Karina too.
Just
Yes,
one
Bruce.
second.
Yeah. I think it's a very important
Just one
question.
second.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you differentiate games as tool for cognitive growth versus more entertainment, ensuring the build measurable life skills?
Bruce, say that again
Ensuring the
and slowly.
How do you differentiate games
I
as
got the first
tools,
part. Just tell me, ensuring the what?
ensuring the build measurable life skills?
The build measurable life skills.
Ensuring they build, sorry.
They build. Okay. So see, games by itself are entertainment always. Okay, whether it is cognitive play, mental play, whatever play, it is always entertainment. And that fun element has to be there for learning to happen. So if we are compromising on the entertainment parameter, everything else is likely to get compromised. Yeah, however, there are times where people come to us ki birthday party hai, get together hai, this kind of situation is there. And now at such times, we give a higher weightage to entertainment because people are out, they are in high energy, they are, in a different mood and mindset. So at such times, if we will give too much of gyan, we will give too much of debriefing, we will give more thinking and less fun, then it will not work. But otherwise, even in learning, the entertainment element is a no compromise thing.
Very nice.
And
Yes.
ensuring how they build, right? You even asked on that. Now, see, this is again a very psychological process. So when I make you all also play a game, let's say Usha will pick up something different, Neha will pick up something different, Shubh will pick up something different. Although we have some set goals and we know that a logical pattern is happening, or strategy is happening, or something is happening, yet you all will develop your own different logical patterns. You will develop your own different ways of doing things, of measuring things, of decision making also, because you come from a different background, a different thought process, a different value system. So I always believe that when you play, you are naturally building skills. वो तो question है ही नहीं, because if the game is right, if there is a learning element, if there is something, it will always do something to the player. But what it can do is not very clearly measurable with all the participants.
Correct.
Unless we debrief, unless they share, steering and directing it will only happen in a two-way process, not in a one-way.
So many times, I have found this difficulty where parents are saying, do you take any test? So I said, you don't have to take a test. You will see an observable transformation in the child.
Correct.
So I don't have to take a test per se.
Correct.
So my tests are like how I told Krishna that this is a project he has to take.
Right.
And this is what you have to do. So when we see the difference is the transformation, that is the test.
Exactly. And just like I think Karina, who is working with the
Karina.
slum kids,
Karina,
right?
yeah.
So just like Karina said that her class kids are different than all other kids. Now you can very obviously see there is a difference in the way these people are dealing. And when time comes, you will get to measure as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Karina, is it audible now? Is it audible now?
I'm
I
so
think
sorry.
this
There was a
battery
background
had gone
noise,
down.
so that's why I had to mute myself. Yeah.
Is it audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So, Puneet has a question here. When you unschool your son, what are the life skills? I think we took this, right?
Yeah.
We took this. Okay.
The second one is that this method of teaching.
Yeah. This method of teaching life skills via games is completely unique. How did you approach that people understand this and you have reached a stage and presence where people invite you as a speaker? How did you establish your credibility in such a niche and unique space?
So as I said earlier, it has taken a lot on giving up on finances, on rewards, on I mean, there have been majority times that I would go free of cost to majority places just to create the awareness of this thing. It's only now that I'm in a position that I can ask for a price. But yes, it has taken me years to do it free of cost just for people to know that this works.
Correct.
Besides that, my husband, any Saturday, Sunday we are home, he will ensure to invite a group of people. We would sponsor the dinner. So forget taking money. There have been times where we have also, and for him, the passion is that this game culture should come in their life.
Yeah.
That was his passion. Let people experience what you're doing. Let people experience.
True.
So we've done it to so many places. And if I talk of the credibility, one major thing that I did during when we start speaking, even free of cost, people are ready to take you free. But Udar, if 4 or 5 people observe that she's making sense, that person will come back to you and tell you,
True,
okay,
true,
do another program for us.
True.
So that has helped me build up. Secondly, during the lockdown, I wrote my first book about game therapy.
Is that book with you?
No,
Acha.
not right now.
Yeah.
So I wrote the first book. Now I'm an author of 3 books. My both first books got a place in New York 120-year-old public library. Now
Wow.
these countries do not take the books just as it is.
Yes.
They took 1.2 months to research on the content. They have a team of researchers who go through the content and then they approve whether the book can stay in the library or not. And after all this, my both books have got accepted in the New York Library. So the research, I think, when we want to give back to the world, and especially when I started writing, I went much deeper into what I'm doing. I always question that what is it that will make people understand this? What is it that will bring more value? So it has been a journey. It has not been a short period. It has been a long journey to come to where I am today. Yes.
अगर इरादे पक्के हो तो कुछ भी आपको कोई भी रुकावट नहीं मिलेगा
True.
कहीं ना कहीं मंजिल तक पहुंच ही जाएंगे
Yes.
So intentions, I always tell you, intentions are very important. So if you have the intent, you will definitely, your dreams will definitely see the light of the day. That's what I have to
True.
say.
Very
And
true.
I believe that, we are all here for a purpose. Now, this kind of modality in teaching or personality development or public speaking, I don't think anybody does that. And I really wish that they do because we use all sorts of unconventional methods. So when parents come or when individuals come, I say, see, I'm very unconventional. I will see what has to be done to get this learning across to you.
Correct.
I don't have a proven methodology, but I know for sure this is going to give you results.
And see, you being a spiritual person, it's also the intuitions that work.
Exactly.
So you will have the same problem from two students, but yet you will give them different solutions because
yeah.
it is, when we evolve spiritually, when we evolve with the trust in us, our intuitions start getting alive and they start giving you,
You,
the
you get
answer.
so many ideas on your own. I
Exactly.
get up at 4:30 in the night, sorry, in the morning, and I get this,
Yeah. True.
So that day, you can't heal what you don't feel. It just came like that to me.
Wow.
And incidentally, I happened to see some video or podcast on the same thing.
Wow.
So this is how, there is a lot of information, knowledge in the universe to which you can connect. So I call it as downloads, you get downloads.
Correct.
And everybody is spiritual, I believe, and we have lived so many lifetimes. So there is so much storehouse of knowledge within us,
True.
the wealth of knowledge within us, which we are not exploring. So I, Vijay Tushar, Leadership Development Catalyst, I'm into the business of ambitions, I would say. I help you to reach your ambitions in a holistic manner.
Wow.
And taking everyone together. So this has been a really great session. And I think a few more questions are remaining. So very quickly, maybe another 5 to 10 minutes, we will wind up. 10 minutes, we will wind up. So, but I want your questions to come. Very quickly, we will. Yes, Akshara. And then I think we can go to Bruce once. And Karina or Puneet if you have. Yes, Akshara.
So, my question is that what were the obstacles that you faced in your journey as a constant learner, and how many years it took you to achieve diploma in exp-
Experiential.
Experiential learning.
education and practice?
Okay, so obstacles have been multiple and the obstacles keep coming even today. It's just that the levels of the obstacles keep changing. When you're starting, the obstacle is creating an awareness. When you grow, there will be an obstacle of team building. Multiple things keep coming. In terms of work, I don't think I have faced any major obstacles because it has been completely a passion driven thing and something that, that has a very deep purpose. I'm looking at it at, transforming lives. So the purpose is very deep. And that is why, that journey never seems that difficult because you're reaching to a much higher goal. But yes, so you asked one about the obstacles and the other thing about
the obstacles only you asked, right?
Yeah, one more thing
There were two questions.
Yeah, one is the obstacles and the other thing was?
And how many years it took you to achieve?
Yeah, what you have
Oh, the
done.
diploma you are saying, right? To achieve the diploma? Yeah, so that diploma course is just a 9-month course in Pune.
Acha.
And I used to travel from Mumbai to Pune every month because it used to be it was not an online course back then before COVID.
Mhm.
And with my work and with everything, it used to be a weekend course.
Oh,
But yeah, I used to travel like 4 a.m. in the morning. I would leave from my house on Saturday, full day lecture, Sunday lecture, and Sunday night, 12:01, I would reach home.
mm,
But it's just a 9-month diploma, but it has been a transformational diploma for me.
awesome, awesome. Yes, very quickly, any more questions?
Yeah, just one. So,
Yeah.
what's one moment or project which you're really proud of in the journey you're having so far?
Uh, Things that I'm proud of, I won't say there is just one. Of course, see, I tried writing a book in 2013 and I wrote so many chapters but never got published. After that, again, I wrote a book somewhere in 2019-20, never got published. 21, I made it a point that when my son turns 18, on his 18th birthday, my book should release. So I put up an emotional hook
Yes.
to achieving that goal. And when that happened, it was a very happy moment because it had, from 2013, I've been wanting to become an author, but I'm not taking enough actions. But when I attached it to an emotional goal and hook and everything, I achieved it. After that, of course, whenever I've decided, all I needed was that a deadline that by this date I should finish. So on his 19th birthday, I wrote the second book.
Oh.
On his 21st birthday, it was my third book that got released. So I have always now ensured that either it's his birthday or my birthday that the book should release. So there is a deadline to it. Second thing, when I got this call from the central ministry that we want you on the jury panel, it was like, oh my God, really? Central ministry? And when I came to know that there are just 4 judges across India, that also was a very, very proud moment because these things don't come so easily.
Yes.
And then when I've been invited in institutes like CSIR is the government's research body. It's called Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. And they have
They are the
37
ones who this NCRT, na?
Not NCRT. They are the ones that have the laboratories across India.
Okay.
So let's say the national CSIR has this national aeronautic labs. So all our defense fighter planes, all the researches happen there. The institute that I was invited, these are the people who look at the weather forecast. So they study the oceans, the mountains, the earth, the earthquakes, and all of that. And this is the government's research lab, where of course the data is also very what I say, confidential and all of this. Now, when I was first invited to CSIR, that you come and take a workshop, they do these thing for the kids. I realized that my co-speakers were all senior scientists or people who have established themselves in the government jobs to a very, very high level, and not a single faculty where whenever I have gone for workshops, not a single faculty has been a non-government person. And plus everyone, somebody is working in the aeronautical lab, somebody is working in oceanography, somebody is working in something. So all the very top-notch government researchers were there as the co-speaker. So even such simple things, just because I'm doing something unique, it's giving me the opportunity. Otherwise, there was no scope that I would get there. Or even NID, when it's a dream
Yeah.
for majority people to get into NID. But going there and doing a complete course for the master level students, a 1 week course, I mean, these all things have come to me because of the uniqueness. And every time something like this comes up, I feel proud. So I can't put in one single moment.
Superb, superb. I'm so happy. I think Usha has a question, and it would not be fair if I don't allow her to ask the question.
No, miss, not with her, from you.
Okay.
How and where did you get her?
How and where did I get her?
I
That's
think the universe conspires.
universe
We met
conspires.
yesterday for the first time.
And hardly for 5 to 10 minutes. And here she is. It's amazing,
Super.
isn't it?
Super.
So she's going to be a life coach in
Yeah,
future,
yeah,
and I'm
I
so
heard that.
happy that she's getting to learn all these things from you.
Nice.
So it's really amazing. Puneet, any more questions? Maybe I'll take one or two. Nolan, I think, has a question which is not asked. Mohak, is that so? Yes, I don't think he's asked that question because he sent that question. A beautiful question it was. Puneet, do you have any questions to ask? Some things take time. Yeah. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So one question, very interesting question asked by Puneet is, how does one convince people to their way of method? How does he replace the existing systems and create the new one? I think you've already answered that. Like how, what she has done is just pure intention, passion. And she believed in it with all her heart, mind, and soul. And therefore, people believed in it.
Yes, and you can't prove when you
Yeah.
are in the nascent stage. If you try to prove, it's always a reverse. So you can't prove or you can't try to prove. All you have to do is just continue what you believe in doing. There will be a time when it shows a result. So this has happened to me even when I was unschooling. Trust me, I have heard people saying on my back that they are mad. Like they are talking
It's
to
only
me
mad
with a-
people who make
yeah.
mad. That is, mad
Exactly.
people make a difference.
Exactly.
MAD.
And they're sitting here, they'll talk with me with a big smile. And the moment they turn, they will be like, पागल है ये लोग.
इनको कुछ समझ में नहीं आता.
So,
स्कूल में नहीं भेजते
and I've
आज.
had friends whose friends say, हाँ वो psychic family, I know them. मतलब, we've had people say things to us, things about us behind. But when the success stories started coming in, we've done multiple print media news, interviews. We've appeared on midday.
Channels,
We've
huh.
appeared on podcasts. We've appeared on my interview was taken on Money Control as well. So when these success stories start coming in, only then people start believing you. But till then, you have to stand a firm ground. Trust me, every time people will be like, "Are you mad? What are you doing? इससे ऐसा होगा, ये होगा, वो होगा." There are people there to tell you why you should not do what you are doing. Just believe in you. There will be a day when they will believe in you.
Exactly. I'm sure Puneet, if he's listening, he would have had a sigh of relief saying, hush, because he's so scared about what people will say, ye karenge, wo karenge, and everything is in his head. So he just recently made some changes in the way that he's functioning. And he's saying, ma'am, it was so simple. I said, yeah. You just had to believe. What happens is we do not allow ourselves phenomenal success. We just want to stick on to mediocrity because it feels comfortable.
Yeah, and because others also say that ये नहीं work करेगा.
Exactly.
So our legs also shake, we are not on that firm ground because all others make you believe. And there is this movie called Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, and there
Maybe
Will
one day
Smith
we'll
tells
watch
his-
it here.
Will Smith tells his son, do not allow people to tell you what you can do and what you can't do.
Yes.
That's simple as that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I think one last question, and it is too good. So definitely, I'm going to take this question. How do you balance? Bruce, are you there? Oh, he had to go to his classes, so he must have left. But this question is there. How do you balance unschooling's freedom with ensuring academic and experiential preparedness for the future?
So very difficult to balance that.
I want to say here that the question itself is a very high degree question. This guy having the intelligence to ask this question must be commended. So give him a huge round of applause for asking this question. Yes.
So balancing has never happened, and it's every time a question mark, and going with the flow. Freedom has always been there. The only thing that I always tell my son or anybody that freedom comes with responsibility. And at teenage, he does not understand that. As he grew up, he started understanding a bit. Till late, he doesn't understand that. So when he has freedom, he has a lot of freedom and he doesn't take up a lot of responsibilities at that time. But when there is a need, he has been responsible and he has given much better than what others can give, probably. So, this thing I just hammered always in him, freedom comes with responsibility. So, anybody who takes up any freedom, remember you are responsible for something. But academic achievements, academic anything has never mattered because I never wanted to put him in college. So for me, that never mattered कि degree में इतना percentage चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. He has not completed his graduation, though he should have by now. So that is the only thing I tell him कि correspondence दे के सिर्फ exam दे के he finished his first year into BSc Sciences. But that's something I say only because passport में चाहिए, paperwork में चाहिए. These are the only things I tell him to finish his graduation for. But
Yeah.
I think once
this
you
is
are into
what-
the field, the academic achievement, how many times, BG, has anybody asked you what did you score in your 10th, 12th
That's
graduation?
exactly what I'm saying. I have a string of degrees. एक लाइन पूरा नहीं होगा मेरा डिग्री लिखने के लिए.
हाँ.
But can you see any of the degrees written here?
And who asked?
Any of your parents, did you all ask me what is my degree? No, but they just saw the transformational stories. That's it.
Yes.
The people who have taken the courses, and that's what I
Actions.
live for.
Yes. Yes.
You are my true medals. When you make a name for yourself in this world, I win. That's why I say I win when you win.
In fact, even when we look at Mark Zuckerberg, he didn't even finish his graduation that he was doing in those days. So, after you achieve a certain work, the academic excellence hardly matters. It's
Correct.
your work and it's your, performance that matters.
Yeah.
And of course, your intention.
Of course. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mittal, for being here and giving us such a lovely session. I think this is by far my longest session
Wow.
on Secrets of Living a Full Life. And thank you so much for it. Audience, those who are watching, please do check her out. And she is simply awesome. Put in your comments, share this video to all your friends and relatives because this has been a great, valuable session. So having said this, unschooling does not mean that you just throw caution onto the wings. It has to be with certain guidelines. It has to be with an expertise of how much freedom you're giving. Like she said, freedom comes with responsibility.
Exactly.
So if you do not know how to do it, please do not encourage unschooling. And as she said, नाम के लिए डिग्री जरूरी है. Because आपके पासपोर्ट में आपको कहीं जाना है तो आपको ग्रेजुएट हो करके दिखाना है तो वो कंप्लीट करना है. But there is no need to take any stress related to that. So every child, I believe, is unique, and I think every parent has the right to choose
Yes.
what kind of education they want to
Yes.
give. And we
Yes.
both believe in experiential methodology because that is life, that is
Correct.
breathing.
Correct.
So as a guide captain, I was into games.
Oh, wow.
Now I prepare my own games. I've not listed it anywhere, but I do it in all my sessions.
Wow.
None of my sessions are without games. So, when you hear the comment that, man, we wait for that one day when you're coming for the training.
Correct.
It gives you so much of a high that, yes, you're making a difference.
Correct.
So many times, when I go to companies and I say, this is a proposal that I want to give for the training here, I need to know everything about you. So they say, exactly, tell me, what are you going to do? I wonder and I look and I said, I myself don't know what I'm going to do. Because it's through the instinct, the intuition is more stronger than the intellect, but the intention is very pure and it is for a holistic growth.
Yes.
So this is Vijay Tushar, Leadership Development Catalyst, signing off for now and bringing beautiful people to you every Wednesday on Secrets of Living a Full Life on my YouTube channel, Vijay Tushar. And yes, I win when you win. Thank you, Mittal, so much. You are awesome.
You. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
BG, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you,
This is
ma'am.
game therapist Mital Salia.
Signing off.
Have fun and let games enhance your life.
Wonderful. Yes. Thank you all so much. Just stay online for a moment as I make the live stream stop. Sorry.